A very pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the NFL Draft. Welcome to our final installment of the Rams post-draft show, presented by Albertsons, Vons, Pavilions, the official grocery stores of the Los Angeles Rams. I'm the voice of your Rams, JB Long, and your co-host for this afternoon's show. The Rams have made 3 picks already today, potentially a couple more still on the way. We'll bring them to you as our show goes along. We're also going to bring in a number of guests to break down the Rams weekend, including my partners on the radio broadcast, DeMarco Farr and Maurice Jones-Drew. And of course, my co-host for the next hour, maybe hour plus, is our Rams team reporter, Sarina Morales. Good afternoon, Sarina.
Hey, JB. So glad to be here with all of you watching. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and on the Rams.com. In addition to the Draft Insight, we've got some great guests, including MJD and DeMarco. We'll also be joined by a few of our 2020 draft picks. Rams legend, big game, Torry Holt. We've got a couple familiar faces stopping by. The Rams preseason TV crew, 2 of my favorites in the NFL, Andrew Siciliano and Mina Kimes, and current Rams player, one of our faves, stopping by shortly. And by shortly, I kind of mean right now. But as we get him set up, I will say he's a team favorite. He's one of the leaders in the locker room, and he's very special. Would you say so, JB?
Yeah, I think an all-decade honor narrows it down to 2 players, right? Aaron Donald will be one on defense. Johnny Hekker, the specialist, will be joining us in just a moment. But just to recap, for those who have been taking care of other matters so far today, maybe not had an eye on day 3 of the NFL Draft. At 136, the Rams picked up a tight end from Purdue and Bryson Hopkins. And then at 199, Jordan Fuller, a safety from Ohio State. And then just a few minutes ago, inside linebacker, which was an area of perceived need, was addressed at 234. That's Clay Johnston out of Baylor. He was the Rams' 7th-round selection. The Rams also picked up 2 of Houston's 7th-round picks to close out the day. So in that trade back that eventually turned into Bryson Hopkins, they also get 2 extra picks from Bill O'Brien and the Houston Texans. So that's kind of where we stand as we wrap up this 2020 NFL Draft. Of course, yesterday got to hear from Les Snead and Sean McVay about the players they took in rounds 2 and 3, Cam Akers, Van Jefferson, who will join us here this afternoon, Terrell Lewis, and Terrell Burgess out of Utah as well, Sarina.
Yeah, JB, were there any picks that you really liked that the Rams have picked up over the past couple of days? I mean, we've got a nice little balance here on offense and defense.
Well, they address a lot of needs, Sarina, and I think one of my kind of major takeaways from this draft is that the Rams maybe define need a little bit differently than their fan base, our audience, and maybe even some other teams around the league do. Need doesn't just mean a position to fill in 2020, right? I think 2021 needs become a part of this draft. When you look at what they did at receiver and tight end in particular, in terms of just being aware of some of the expiring contracts they have at certain positions, and how to prepare for the eventuality that they won't be able to retain everyone who's on their roster currently. So we'll get into that with DeMarco and Maurice as we go along, how they plan both for the year ahead, but also for the horizon a bit beyond 2020.
Yeah, there were a couple questions. We spoke to Les Snead and Sean McVay last night after the draft, and I think a couple of the questions were, okay, you picked up a running back with your first pick in the draft at 52 at Cam Akers, and they seem to be pretty comfortable with what they have at O-line. There were some issues, but it was more of a consistency versus an injury-based concern. Would you say so? They haven't really filled anybody there.
Well, that's the bet that they're making, and we'll see what they do with their final 2 selections. But yeah, the chances of you finding a starting offensive lineman as a rookie in the bottom of the 7th round are not historically good. So what this tells you is that the Rams feel like they have the solutions to the offensive line problems in their own facility, and that it's a matter of developing health, continuity, and then also building off the experience that a lot of young players got with starts a year ago. And really, I think those are perfect examples of what we're talking about in terms of planning for the future. Offensive line has been a need, right? But you can say Brian Allen, Joe Noteboom, David Edwards, Bobby Evans, they've addressed that need not right here in this moment, but in prior drafts to prepare to fill the void that they're now trying to fill in.
For sure. They're setting it up. They've got Whitworth and Austin Blythe to kind of help those young guys along as they enter in their second year. But as we just got word Our man is here, the man of the hour of the minute. He was recently named, as JB said, to the 2010 All-Decade Team, a four-time first team All-Pro, four-time Pro Bowler, number 6 on your Rams, but number 1 in your hearts. Punter, Johnny Hekker. Welcome to our draft show. Hey, what's going on, Johnny?
Hanging, guys. I don't have a proper setup because I'm not used to being at home, but check, I got a little workout ball on top of a plyo box. So
I think that's good for your abs.
Things are going well here. Yeah, the core is real active, ready to go.
We're also matching. JB did not get the memo to wear the T-shirt today, but that's here nor there. Hey, Johnny, while you don't have necessarily the setup, I think the NFL has kind of set this virtual draft for the first time ever without a glitch. What do you think of the entire weekend so far?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think it's been super entertaining. The way they've been able to tie in all the videos and the kind of cut twos of the stuff they had prepared on all the guys has been really cool. The stories they've been able to tell, and really all you're missing is them walking across the stage and missing a lot of the boos on Goodell. But the rest of that has been awesome, and I'm pumped with the guys that we got.
What do the Rams selections tell you, Johnny, about the direction of this 2020 team and maybe even beyond?
Man, I think we're getting athletic. I think we're getting guys that are, not necessarily one position players, but guys that can move around and do different things and be versatile in our schemes. So I don't really know what our defense is going to look like with a new coordinator and kind of new coordinators across the board, but I think we got guys that can plug and play in a lot of different places. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I saw a couple of the highlights of the guys, and there were some special teams plays on there, so I'm already licking my chops.
There you go. Hey, with Cam Akers doubling as a quarterback as a high schooler, are you worried that some of your trick play thunder might be stolen away on third down rather than fourth down?
I hope so, because those are usually the home runs. But, I did have some people tweeting me his high school passing stats, and I'm pumped. Yeah, the more you can do, the better. So get him in the Wildcat, let him toss some tugs.
Johnny, what do you think overall? I mean, as a leader, not only to the special teams, but as a leader on this Rams, you've got a bunch of new guys coming in. Some of them will probably play on special teams and should plan for it. Clay Johnston, actually, one of the linebackers we just drafted from Baylor, is set to be someone that is expected to play on special teams. What do you think overall on these new guys coming in, not knowing what's going on, and also just this is the first time that it'll be virtual learning for all of them.
Yeah. I think the first thing you said is they're all going to have to contribute in some way on special teams, whether it's look team or actually being one of the core 14 guys. The buy-in is going to have to be there, and they'll realize that pretty soon on that if they want to play, there's a lot of really talented guys ahead of them that are going to, of course, help them bring them along in their positions. But the learning curve and the ability to get on the field and get in a jersey and contribute immediately is going to come from special teams. So I'm excited to watch those guys progress. We got a lot of young guys who have stepped up big on special teams the last few years that are going to be able to usher those guys along. And man, we're just going to have fun, fly around and make plays like we always do on special teams. But I think the virtual learning will also be another hurdle for them. And they just have to accept it. It is what it is. And we're all going to be in there together virtually, supporting them. And I'll be following all the guys on social media and trying to get their numbers as soon as possible from coaches. But you just need to, as quickly as possible, let those guys know that you have their back and whatever they need, that they can call on you.
Am I to understand that you're not exempt from the virtual learning portion of this offseason program? I thought specialists might get a hall pass.
Yeah, there was an asterisk in the schedule that said Mondays and Wednesdays specialists contact your coach. So it was like the schedule is really funny, but we're gonna have to get in there. And I haven't met Bono in person in a long time, and to get to get more acquainted with him and Coach Torry, who's he's been in and out of the special teams room helping us the last few years. I'm pumped for him to be our assistant, but there's going to be a lot of new faces to meet. I've actually, one of the kickers we signed, Austin McGinnis, I've known him since he was in high school. I used to work out at his high school down in Alabama, and he's a really good kid. And then Liram's going to be a talented leg as well. So the guys we got are going to be fun, and Jake and I are just going to do our best to meet with them virtually and try and just have some fun with them.
Well, Johnny, I have to vamp a little bit here before this becomes official, but you are the perfect person at the perfect moment to have on the line as we discuss the Rams pick at 248. This was one of the picks that the Rams acquired from the Houston Texans earlier today. That's right. Keep an eye over your shoulder.
He doesn't believe you, JB. He doesn't believe you. He's like, well, where'd you get that information?
Well, my next question was gonna be to ask you for a preview of the kicking competition going into an unprecedented summer for a lot of reasons, but among them trying to replace Greg Zuerlein on the Rams roster with two non-NFL names from the XFL, the CFL. But it seems like an additional candidate might be on the way. So just before we get into the specifics of that, give us kind of your big picture thought on Greg the Leg joining Bones in Dallas and what it's going to mean for the Rams and how you approach special teams.
Yeah, it's going to be new. New for me. It's the first time I've held field goals for another guy that's seriously contended for the job. And Greg's wildly talented. I wish him nothing but the best. I love that guy. And him and Bones are both going to do great things in Dallas. But that being said, we have an opportunity to step up and make big things happen in the kicking game for the Rams. And we're getting young. All right, Sam Solomon. I just saw it.
There you go. Way to break the news, Johnny.
TV. Sorry, I'm so sorry. But if they're watching TVs, they already seen it. But it's interesting to see. I've heard that we're going to try and bring in 3 guys and just let them compete. And I think that's going to be a great moment for them to all have a shot at winning a position on this team. And that competition is going to be very important for them. And it's going to be difficult for them to kind of separate without OTAs really being on the board right now. But when camp comes around, it's going to be at a premium every kick they have. And that'll really show us, who's ready to rise to the occasion.
Samuel Sloman of Miami, Ohio. Johnny, one thing every rookie should know before showing up to this Kalu facility, whenever that may be, you're welcoming in 3 new teammates you haven't met yet in person.
Yeah, something they should know. Bring your sunscreen. It gets sunny out there. I'm going to need it frequently. So if I ask you to put some on, you got to do it as a rookie, No, totally kidding. I just think they just got to be ready to work and have fun doing it. The specialist unit, we pride ourselves in doing our work when we need to, but outside of that, we're going to be friends. We're going to hang out, play board games, play video games, and just try and have fun to the best of our ability. And then when it's time to get serious, and do what we can to help this team win games.
How's Jet doing? Ready to be an older brother?
Jet's great. I heard him upstairs a little bit. He's doing great. It's the weather has been awesome up here in Seattle, actually. So we've been getting outside, going on walks, and today has been a little crummy. So we tried to do an inside blow up bounce house, and he freaked out a little bit. Didn't like the noise of the fan, but other than that, he's doing great. Always gives mom's tummy a little hug and says hi to little sister. So he's getting ready. We'll see. I don't know when the baby gets here. We'll see if that throws another kind of wrench in his every day. But yeah, we're excited. It'll be fun.
JB, go ahead. I was going to say the secret to Johnny's success with Jet there is a trampoline, apparently. Get a kid a trampoline, get all the energy out, let him go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he started to let himself outside in the backyard, so we had to put a baby-proof lock on it because we didn't want him just going outside when we weren't watching. But, he loves his trampoline. Yeah, he loves to jump around. He's also taken to – we have on our Xbox, we have Just Dance 2020, and he's got some moves. He's having a lot of fun.
Well, good luck potty training before number 2 shows up, because that was the key to success in the Long household. I wish it for the Hekkers as well.
Yeah, I've heard there'll be a lot of number 2s showing up with potty training. So.
Thanks for being here, Johnny. Good to see you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Before we connect at Kalu.
Yeah, all right. I'll see you guys soon.
All right. Definitely appreciate a member of the all-decade team showing up for our draft recap show. And time now to bring in my partners on the radio side to break down day 3. One is a Super Bowl champion, and the other tormented defense for 9 seasons in the National Football League as a tailback. And you can catch them both on the ESPN LA Rams radio broadcast at my side each Sunday during our season. DeMarco Farr, Maurice Jones-Drew return to our program. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Good to see you both again.
What's happening? Lombardi
DeMarco's
here.
Doing push-ups, I believe. I think you just came from working out.
Me? No, I got a little 5-year-old party going on, man. I'm all over the place right now. Trying to listen to Johnny Hekker at the same time. Love it.
Plus it's 80 degrees in the Southland today.
It is warm, no doubt. Absolutely. And all the windows are open. Did I hear he's got number 2 on the way?
A little girl.
Yay! Congratulations. I told Johnny Hekker a long time ago, you're going to outlive us all. You're a punter. You're an athlete. You're going to be here for 30 years. You're going to have like 10 kids. Well, he's got 2. He'll be the new Phillip Rivers. Watch.
That's going to be tough to beat, DeMarco.
All right, gentlemen, let's start at the top of day 3. And the Rams traded down 10 spots with the Texans to pick up a couple extra 7s. Bryson Hopkins was their choice, a tight end from Purdue. And I started our program today by reframing the word need a little bit, because in 2020, in the current configuration of the roster, you might say the Rams don't need a tight end. They had 3 serviceable ones coming off of last December, to be sure. But they opt to use this pick for some upside at that position, perhaps anticipating that not everyone will be around a year from now.
Yeah, I definitely think the tight end out of Purdue, his name just slipped my mind. Sorry.
Bryson Hopkins.
Bryson Hopkins. Well, again, it's funny because the Rams over the last couple of years, they've kind of gone after lineage, right? Dad played in the league, was a left tackle, played for the Titans, and then he's going around. So he's been around the locker room a little bit. When you watch his tape, very explosive with the ball in his hands, can do that stretch the middle of the field, get up those seams that we know Jared loves to make those type of throws. And so for me, I think you're right, JB. It's an upside pick. It's a guy that's, down the lines will be able to make plays, but he also, because of being around football his whole life and growing up in the locker room, he may be able to make an immediate impact as well, because he has those football smarts and can play different positions.
And he's got a little bit of nasty. I know his dad played against his dad in the Super Bowl. So, and we've kept in touch. So I've known this kid, his whole life and watched him grow up. Purdue tight ends, I love. They seem to come out and perform well at the next level. So this is good. The first guy I thought about, and not to put anybody on Front Street, but it's Gerald Everett. Johnny Hekker, or not Johnny Hekker, Higbee is your guy. Johnny Mund is Mr. Serviceable, like you said, Mr. Swiss Army knife. The only question mark in that group is 81, Gerald Everett. What's the plan there? When do we start to see him reach his potential, or is he going to reach his potential? So if anybody in that tight end room is sweating, it should be him, now that you've added a tight end like Hopkins to the roster.
The knock on him as a player, according to the Pro Football Focus scouting report, 22 drops on 152 career catchable targets. How much of a concern would hands be as he arrives in Los Angeles? And is that something that you believe you can coach out of a player?
Well, don't drop the ball. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, look, if they throw it to you, make sure you catch it. But, I mean, as long as he works on his craft. I've seen a lot of guys struggle to catch. Was it Braylon Edwards? A guy that struggled to catch. But as long as you keep working on your craft, eventually you will get better. Eventually you do. But if you think you've arrived and you stop working on it, you're going to be panhands for the rest of your career, however short it may be in the league.
Yeah, I think there's definitely different techniques you can use to better your hands. Really, catching the ball is just looking the ball all the way into what you're, looking at it all the way in. I think, when you watch some of his tape, he's peaking a little bit. I don't know if it's because of the safeties bearing down on him, or if he's peaking to see where he can go after he catches the ball. And that's where you see a lot of those drops. And watching practices and OTAs and training camps, the one thing that you could talk about Sean McVay and his staff, especially the tight ends and receivers, they harp on looking the ball all the way in after you finish your route. When you come out of the top of the route, that ball should be hitting you either in the chest, or the quarterback should be throwing you inside or outside, depending on where the defender is. You got to catch that thing and then go with it. And that's what they're going to harp on. And in some of the drills, some of the people that are watching this, I had a coach tell me with my oldest son and my youngest one, to throw tennis balls at them, catch the ball, tennis balls with 2 hands. You know how hard that is?
That's rough.
It's easy to catch it with 1, but if you can try to catch it with 2, it forces you to look it all the way in. Just little tricks of the trade like that obviously the Rams staff has underneath their belt.
Or just get like 2 inches from the jugs machine and have them fire it at you.
That's how you lose your fronts.
You'll learn to catch. Absolutely.
Gentlemen, as we're speaking here, the Rams have wrapped up their 2020 draft at pick number 250, their 9th and final selection of the day and of the weekend. Clemson guard Tremaine Ankrum. So a Clemson Tiger is coming to the interior of the Rams offensive line. And I know for much of our audience, the question throughout last night and again here today, where are the offensive linemen? A perceived need for the Los Angeles Rams. But as we discussed with Sean McVay and Les Snead last night, they're betting on themselves, and they don't take an offensive lineman until their last pick of the weekend.
Well, I'll tell you this, if he makes the team or not, I don't know. It's going to be pretty hard from that spot, but he's going to be a better football player once he leaves. He's going to be coached by Aaron Kromer. He's going to be cross-trained. He's going to play every single position on the offensive line. So that guy is going to get better. So we'll see what he has. And look, how can you say no to a little bit of Dabo on your program, in your program? You know what I mean? A championship pedigree or a championship college football team coming over to your football team, it's only going to help it be more competitive. We'll see if he can play. We'll see if he can stick. But I like guys from programs like that at that draft slot, especially at that position. Come in and fight. See if you can hang with Aaron Donald for one period or two. That's what I would tell him. Let me see if you can make Aaron Donald mad today. See if you can drive him nuts with your technique.
Well, that's what these picks are really at the back end of the 7th round. And there were a few of them. Clay Johnson, an inside linebacker, Samuel Sloman, an extra kicker for the competition, and now an interior offensive lineman. This is a head start on your college free agents, right? These are players that you don't have to go out and negotiate with their agents to sell them on Los Angeles in training camp this summer.
No, you're exactly right. A lot of times when you get to the 7th round, I mean, you're just trying to jump ahead on some of these guys that you don't have to compete with other teams with. But I think, DeMarco, you hit it right on the head when you're talking about bringing guys in from a championship program. It's funny you say that because I think that's what the Raiders are doing. The Raiders literally drafted like 17,000 Clemson Tigers in the last 2 years. They're trying to be Clemson West, right? But there's something to that because, again, these guys know how to work. They know what it takes. And then they're going to compete their butts off. That's what they've done when you go to these top-notch programs. And so I think you bring in an interior lineman who's going to add a little bit of depth, may compete, and may end up being a guy. You don't know how it may go about, but you're just adding depth. And at the end of the day, that's all you can do is add competitive depth to your roster so that when the season does kick off, right, and everyone, you're in training camp and all these things are going on, because we still have to remember we don't know when they're going to start off-season programs, right? We're doing it the virtual way. We don't know how we're going to be physically there. You want to have as much competition in that training camp and as many bodies as you can in that training camp so that you can be prepared to start the regular season.
For sure. We're adding depth to this roster, and we're going to add someone else to our Rams post-draft show. So I'm going to say goodbye to you guys for just a few minutes. Thanks for those who are just tuning in and watching the Rams post show presented by Albertsons Vons Pavilions, the official grocery store of your Los Angeles Rams. We're keeping DeMarco in, and we know why. It's time to bring now in an all-timer who has one of the all-time quotes about his allegiance to this franchise, and I got to give it to him. I am a Ram forever. Whether we're in St. Louis, whether we're in LA, whether we're in Cleveland, hell, if we're on the moon I am a Ram. There you go. Big game. Torry Holt is in the house. Hey, what's going on, Torry? How are you?
Hey, Sarina. How's everybody? I'm doing well. What's up, JB? What up, DeMarco?
What up, man? I mean, you may be able to get down on the moon with no gravity. You might be the only dude I know that can get down on the moon. What's up, man?
Chilling, man. I'm just hanging out, bro. Just quarantining, trying to stay safe and following the rules, bro.
I heard that. Do that. Wash your hands. Hey, what did you think of pick number 52? Some people were shocked. You let go of Todd. You know how that goes. That's drama. And
running back or wide receiver.
You pick a running back to replace him. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I watch Cam Akers, here in ACC land. I live in Carolina, so I get a chance to see him quite often. I like the pick. I think he's a competitive kid. It's funny. I was just talking to my live audience group on my IG live, and I was talking about, how competitive he is. He's tough. He played through injury in 2018, smooth running style, does a really good job of that zone scheme, great eyes, finding the running lanes and being able to hit it. And being that he's a former quarterback, he's also a threat to and throwing the football. Now, I know Sean gets creative. I don't know how creative he'll get with Cam. But he does have the ability to throw the football as well. And he's a screen threat, a natural ball catcher, hands catcher out of the backfield, particularly on screen routes. On swing passes, and he is a screen threat. So big-time football player, and he has a nose for the end zone. And Lord knows you got to have somebody that can score the ball. He has a nose for the end zone.
Well, I was there, but I don't think I've ever asked you this question. What is it like for him to join that room? What was it like for you to join that room with Isaac?
Oh, it's great. Great. When I came in as a rookie, Isaac was in the room, Oz Hakeem was in the room, Ricky Prohl was in the room. So a ton of veterans, Tony Horn, veterans in the room. So they showed me right away how to practice, how to go about getting down every single day and preparing for the National Football League. So Cam having Malcolm Brown in the room, Henderson, who's gone through it a year, having those kind of vets in the room to show him how to get it done on an everyday basis, I think is going to be critical. And particularly when he looks on the outside and he sees Robert Woods and he sees Reynolds, he sees Whitworth, guys that's played the game, played at a high level, and they have great work ethic. So I think he's in a great position.
Well, you know, my thought process, I love the room I was in, but one of you guys is going home. That's what I thought.
well, that too. Well, I mean, I didn't even get to that part.
Way to bring it, DeMarco. Way to bring it. Way to put Torry on the spot.
Right. No, I mean seriously. That's the mentality that you have to take, and I'm sure Cam will be no different. Again, I mentioned he is a competitor. He's used to being the guy, so I'm sure he's looking forward to coming in and showing his work. And no matter where you're picked in the draft, you have to make the team. You have to show your teammates, the organization, that they made the right choice in picking you. And Cam Akers, I'm sure with his competitiveness, will be up for the challenge.
Let's move on to Van Jefferson, who we're hoping to speak with during this program as well, and evaluate the group of four that the Rams have at receiver. A little bit different than it looked at the end of last season. So Brandon Cook's out, Van Jefferson in. Tell me how you would configure the receivers if you were Sean McVay.
I mean, he's got options, right? I mean, you look at Van Jefferson. I had an opportunity to see him up close and personal down at the Senior Bowl. He was working with Justin Herbert, who the Los Angeles Chargers ended up taking. And watching those two guys get down every day in practice was really cool to watch. Look, Van is NFL bloodlines. His dad played and coaches. He's long, has good body control. He's good, really good quickness, can reaccelerate in short areas, which is what I really like. When we talk about Cooper Kupp's ability to get open at any given time, Van Jefferson gives Jared Goff a valuable option, because a guy that's 6'1", 197 pounds, to be able to use his feet the way he does and create separation is going to be huge for this offense. So I like Van, and he can play outside as well as in the slot. So I'm all for the pick. I like receivers. Anytime we can pick receivers, guys that I think that can get open, guys that can play and play at a high level. And what I like too, and I know the Rams brass like, and the reason why they took him is because of his ability to get down and the way he played against that LSU secondary. So he is ready for the competition, playing in the SEC. He's seen quality competition, and he has the ability to get open and get down.
Is Cooper Kupp the best comparison, or is there anybody else historically that he measures up to? Like when you see him play, I see this guy.
Yeah, I'm not big on comparisons, DeMarco. I never have been. If I had to give him a comparison, I mean, just on the Rams squad, he's long. He's not as long as Josh Reynolds, but he is as good in terms of getting open like a Cooper Kupp. And that's why I say he can play outside, because of his length and ability to separate and to create and to get open. And then you can move him inside. When you look at Cooper Kupp, ability to get open against any coverage, two-man versus man-to-man, Van Jefferson gives the Rams that option as well. A guy that can get open with good length, again, good NFL bloodlines, and he loves playing football.
You know what? I like big school guys, big school receivers, because they won't be afraid going into Seattle. They won't be afraid going into San Francisco. You know what I mean?
You're exactly right. But look, DeMarco, they may be going into Seattle with San Francisco this year with no fans.
Right.
Now,
that's right.
With everything that's going on.
Advantage Rams.
Advantage Rams. Advantage anybody that goes into Seattle and plays. And if they don't have any fans, that is advantage anybody. Look, Seattle, it is very, very, DeMarco, no, you guys know, it is very, very loud in Seattle. So that's something to keep an eye out on. But I think the Rams are particularly with Akers and even Terrell Lewis. Terrell Lewis has an 83.5-inch wingspan. Woo! I saw him down at the Senior Bowl. A big man, y'all. A big man. Now, he did deal with some injuries in 2017, I think 2018 as well. But he had a dominant performance in the 2018 college football national championship game. And then he had a hell of a week down at the Senior Bowl. And then they can move him anywhere along that defensive front. So I think they've gotten off to a good start. And then I hadn't really evaluated or watched today's part of the draft. Yeah. I know they took B. Hopkins' son, the tight end.
Oh my God, they got it. They got his son.
got a son. So again, another son, NFL bloodlines, coming onto the team, right? So looking forward to seeing how he works. He got Tyler Higbee there with him, Gerald Everett is also there with somebody. So he has experience in front of him, so he will be able to learn how to play the pro game and
Tell
how to
him,
practice and get ready.
tell him if me and Ray Agnew ever see his daddy alone, we're gonna jump it. All the stuff he did to us.
Yeah, B Hop was a heck of a player. B Hop is actually a colleague of mine at Sirius XM NFL Radio. So big shouts out to B Hop and his son as well for joining the squad.
The Rams seem to enjoy drafting players who have that genetic NFL family connection, if you will. Bryson Hopkins, Clay Johnson, the linebacker out of Baylor. His father is a strength and conditioning coach, was with San Diego actually while Eric Weddle was there, and Van Jefferson. So excited to see that. Quickly, before we let you go, the Holt Brothers Foundation, speaking of good genes, you've done a lot of great things over the years. You've stepped up helping out, especially recent with the pandemic of COVID-19 and relief efforts. Hey, what's going on with you these days, and what are you guys up to?
Well, Holt Brothers Foundation, we help out young kids with a parent or guardian that's battling cancer. We lost our mom to cancer in 1996, so we vowed to do something in honor of her name. We are going into our 20th year of our foundation's existence, and the goal is to go another 20 years. And we are dealing with this pandemic and our fundraisers being pushed back because of the uncertainty of what's going on. So we're going virtual. We're going digital. We're doing more things online. So you can go to HoltBrothersFoundation.com, and we're asking for generous donations so we can help out our kids' families. And again, these are families with a parent or guardians battling cancer. We offer scholarships. We've offered families. We help them with helping with their bills and groceries and helping with computers for the kids. So, because right now the kids are learning from home because there's no school. So some kids are going without computers. So we've helped families get computers. So I know it's a tough time to ask folks to donate, and I really didn't want to do it, but I was sitting around saying, well, how else are we going to raise money? If I don't ask, then we don't receive. So HoltBrothersFoundation.com, you can go there and you can donate. And we're actually doing a campaign. We're out in front of it early. GoFundMe, we have a GoFundMe page. And GoFundMe is donating a match of $1,000. If we raise $1,000, they're going to match us $1,000. So we can use, everyone that's listening right now, we can use your help. Go to HoltBrothersFoundation.com. Allow us to continue to help families with a kid with a parent or guardian that's battling cancer during these tough times.
And then Maurice Jones-Drew said you don't block. I don't believe it.
That's BS. Hey, actually, any time you see backs with long runs, then the guys on the perimeter are doing their job. So he had plenty of long runs. And so that means me and Mike Sims walking the guys was doing our job. Tell Maurice to cut that out.
Thanks, Torry. Great to see you. Looking forward to getting together at SoFi Stadium before too long.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, JB. Bye, Sarina. We'll see you, DeMarco. Take care, champ. We'll see you guys. Go Rams.
And DeMarco, why don't we give you a minute to go check in on that birthday party, and we'll circle back with you to break down the rest of day 3, if that's all right. And that will give me and Sarina a chance to be joined by one of the newest members of your Los Angeles Rams, who was an All Big Ten selection last season. In fact, he was that league's tight end of the year. And today he became the Rams' 4th-round draft pick, 136th overall. He is Purdue tight end Bryson Hopkins. Nice enough to join us on this Saturday afternoon. Bryson, congratulations. Looking forward to getting to know you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it too.
What was the moment like for you and your family?
It was surreal. You know, I didn't think it was going to be that emotional. I tried to hold back some tears, but when everyone else is that emotional, you gotta let them fly. So it was a great overall experience, though.
You know, we joked yesterday with Andrew Whitworth on the program that, you know, he has his kids around in the locker room all the time. You know, we see some of these guys who kind of have that advantage. We're seeing coaches who have their kids kind of making draft picks, and it's kind of exciting. You had this experience with your father as well, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, I did. I was in the locker room. I was on the field doing everything I could as a kid. You know, as a kid, this experience it would be even more wild to experience something like this, or an even party as a kid. Everything's blown up. But I did experience a lot of that, and it was something that I won't forget, and it's definitely something that I'll remember when I'm going through these moments in the future.
Bryson, you have a connection with the Rams' new strength coach, Justin Levitt. What can you tell about your work with him and what he offers the rest of your Rams teammates when you do get together at the Rams facility in Thousand Oaks?
All I can say is Justin Levitt is the man. He knows exactly what he's doing. He cares about all of his players, and he doesn't want to see anybody get hurt. He just wants to see production on the field. So any way that he can help, he's willing to do that. And I'm more than excited to be able to reunite with him. He's a real personable coach, and he does a great job just connecting with the players and making them feel healthy and, ready to go.
You were number 89 now. It's Tyler Higbee's number. You are familiar with Tyler Higbee. I think you guys have a bunch of crossover. You watched a bunch of his film from Western Kentucky. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'd watch him at Western Kentucky. I watched him while he was in the league. We did or while he's in the league. Speaking of, on my
He's still
team
there.
now. It's crazy to say that. It's crazy to say that I'm on his team now, but I am, and I'm excited for what the future holds for the tight ends and the offense as a whole. But yeah, definitely did that. I'm talking to him right now, or talking to my coach about connecting with him right now, because Coach Brom and Coach Wallace, all my Purdue coaches, coached him, and he's a great player, and he likes what he did in his offense, and they like what I did in his offense. So,
hey Bryson, how sick are you of hearing about drops?
Man, I mean, hey, if I could,
way to bring it up, JB.
I don't want to come up with excuses. That's all everyone likes to say. They don't like to see. They don't like to give me any credibility for the catches, for any of the good catches I had. It's all about drops, but I just want to. It's something I'm working on. It's all concentration. It's not like I don't have hands. I've shown everybody that I can catch, but it's just something that I will be working on. I will get better at.
How about away from the football field? What's one thing that you would like Rams fans to know about who you are as a person?
I'm open to conversation. I'm personable. If anyone sees me, I'm willing to talk to anybody. But as a person, I like Xbox. I play video games, play some Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty. I'm into cars. I'm a car guy. Other than that, I'm pretty boring. My dad played in the league. If you didn't watch any of the draft at all, then you wouldn't know that. But
did you say cars, like drive a car, or cars?
I love car. No, I'm a car guy. Yeah, I love. I don't.
Stick shift. Can you drive a stick shift?
I can drive a stick shift. I don't have a stick shift. I would love a stick shift. But
so is the signing bonus already spoken for then with 4 wheels, or what do you think?
You know what? All I need at the moment is a car, considering my power steering and a whole bunch of electrical issues happened with my recent one. So that's all I need. And then
what do you have your eye on then? Give us your dream
I don't know.
car.
I'm looking at a nice Jeep right now.
Okay.
I'm a Nashville boy, got to show the country.
Top down, a lot of driving in Los Angeles, FYI, a lot of traffic. So
Yeah.
you might need a nice car so you can get through the traffic, enjoy your ride, put some tunes
what I
on.
plan on doing.
Hey, Bryson, what overall, I mean, if you haven't watched the draft, your father was mentioned a ton. But you mentioned in an interview, your mom has helped you out a lot. How's that balance been between, what your mom's kind of doing? Let's give a shout out to your mother, as Mother's Day is closely coming through.
Of course. I'm sure she'd love to hear you say that too. And she probably is listening as I say this, but she's done a great job of just being there for me in every way that she can. Advice that I was asking for didn't necessarily pertain to football. She was always there to, or if it didn't pertain to, if it did pertain to football, she could still help. Same with my dad, if it's something about finances or insurance or, where I'm going to be living or, the responsible stuff, then I go to mom over here. If I want to go to, if any advice on the game of football and how I need to succeed on the field, then I'll just go straight to my dad. But it's just an advantage I have, having the best of both worlds like that. So,
last thing for me, any preferred nickname?
B-Hop. I know that's my dad's name, but B-Hop is my nickname. You can call me B. You can call me Bryson. People mess up, say Bryce all the time. I don't care. But yeah, Bryson's my name. B-Hop is my nickname.
Sarina, I think he's pretty easy going. I think he's going to fit in just fine here in Los Angeles, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about you, B-Hop. We're good. You're ready to roll.
I'm ready to go too. Let's go.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Wishing you the best of luck throughout your career as a Ram. Can't wait to see you on the field. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later. Enjoy, go celebrate, give a hug to your mother and your father.
I will. I appreciate y'all's time. Thank you for having me on.
Nice to meet you, Bryson.
Nice to meet you.
JB, we've got 2 of my favorite peeps coming on right now. I've been looking forward to them. They're good friends of mine. Let's bring them on without further ado. Mina Kimes and Andrew Siciliano. Welcome on to our Rams post-draft show. believe they're coming on now. I got excited. I love Mina and Andrew.
How do these two have time for us?
I don't know. You think they'd be a little busy? Andrew Siciliano, you see him all over NFL Network. Mina Khan,
Nice
you see
hat,
her
Andrew.
all over ESPN. She also hosts
there.
one of my favorite podcasts, ESPN Daily. Mina, there we are.
I'm pretty
Hi.
sure these two have clones, so we must just be getting some version of their alternate.
No.
This is the Westworld version of you, Siciliano.
Am I
I know.
really a host?
Yes.
Yes.
You are actually a host. That is
Well, okay,
definitely
there
correct.
you go.
I
How
mean,
is everybody? I have plenty of time. I've been off the air since 9 a.m. I've been watching the draft like everyone else and doing like what Roger Goodell said he was doing, which is like chores around the house for day 3, wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah. So what do you think we'll take away from this 2020 draft? The unprecedented circumstances, what works? What do you think would be worth carrying forward to future drafts and presentations?
Mina, what do you think? Go first.
Well, I loved seeing the players, coaches, GMs at homes, not just because of, the memes, the Cliff Kingsburys and Rabels of the world, but kind of just seeing their families and how comfortable they were together and seeing them experience that. I don't know, it was really nice. I actually kind of think that should be the setup going forward. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think Sean Payton said the same thing today when he was on with Trey, how this might – look, we're still going to have a red carpet. The draft is still going to be in Cleveland next year. You're still going to have a backstage with family, and the players deserve their moment. Wear a nice suit, bring the family. I mean, you've worked your whole life for this moment. Embrace it. But I also think you may see some players that say, I'd love to stay at home. And those that do, the league sent 58 kits to players with the iPhones and the ring light and all that thing to get on the air. I think those that do will have a similar setup, and there will be more setups like that. It won't just be, hey, we'll have 25 backstage and maybe 3 or 4 others, like a couple of quarterbacks that don't want to go. I think there'll be far more of that intimate feel, and probably the same goes for the coach or the GM. It just felt different, and I don't say it felt better, because the draft was always great, but it just felt special. Can we recreate that every year? I don't know, but I think it's something to build on.
It felt cozy, but I'm not sure if that was because of Roger Goodell's comfy chair or it was because I was in my own living room watching. But nonetheless, I felt like I was like comforted, like, oh, I'm watching the NFL, and there were no glitches. And even Les Snead, who admittedly said that he had a little wireless issue 10 picks before he drafted. But he's in Malibu, guys. Malibu, the internet's not that great there.
There was he stayed amazingly calm too. His wonderful wife and my former co-host at NFL Network shared a video on a text of the moment the Wi-Fi went out, and IT is scrambling, wearing a mask, like going nuts. And Les is just totally calm, and he takes out his cell phone and he calls Tony Pastores on speakerphone. He's like, all right, Wi-Fi is down. And his pulse never changed. So they got through it.
I mean, I just want to ask you for some big picture context across the NFL. I'm not sure any team made a bigger bet or doubled down more on what they have internally than the Rams did with their offensive line, not selecting an offensive lineman until their last pick of this weekend. What are your thoughts on that bet?
I don't know if it was on your podcast, Sarina, but someone asked me what I thought the Rams would do given some of the areas of need.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know if this was yours, but I said, I don't think they're going to go offensive line. So I felt great. Nothing better than being right about something. I did think I said inside linebacker, which obviously was not the case until today. But it was interesting because I think you might look at the Rams day 2 where they had a lot of picks and think, well, they definitely went more best player available than need in a few situations. But I actually think it was more about best player available and the players we already have. And I think that's really reflected in not taking any offensive linemen. I think they like the guys, not only from the draft the previous year, but the year before that. And they want to continue developing them. And I'm not too surprised.
Did Lenny give you insight? Lenny gave you insight. Her dog, Andrew, you know her. Dog's really,
unfortunately.
Well, dogs stole the show at the draft. Dogs and kids, and one would argue it's building off Lenny's runaway success.
Yeah, kind of stealing his bit a little bit, but that,
Andrew, since you've stopped working at 9 a.m. this morning, and Mina, both of you, Mina especially because you have your eye on the NFC West, I know you well. What do you both think of how this division kind of ended up post-draft and what the Rams are really going to have to prepare for when they face these teams at some point this season?
You go first, Andrew.
I think you start, at the top, obviously, with the defending NFC champions. I think if you look at their first 3 picks, if you include DeForest Buckner as pick number 13, I think they got better than you throw in Trent Williams to replace Joe Staley. And by the way, Kyle Shanahan's doing his post-draft presser right now on Zoom with Joe Staley as his backdrop behind him, which is kind of cool. I don't think that they took a step backwards. I love Brandon Ayuk, just love him. He's exactly what they need, what they lack. Honestly, I'll let Mina talk about the Seahawks. I think the Cardinals are only getting better, and I still think it's the best division in football, although the NFC South with that old quarterback the Bucs just signed probably would have a little bit to say about that, but the Panthers are a rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, I think I tweeted that it's a post-apocalyptic hellscape now.
Yes.
I stand by that. I mean, every team got better this offseason, some cases dramatically so. I actually liked all of the drafts, to be quite frank, looking at all 4 teams. They were in the top half for me. Arizona, to have Isaiah Simmons fall into their lap like that, and after getting Hopkins, if you want to count him, the Niners, again, to have Trent Williams kind of fall into their lap is just absurd. But, and I liked Ayuk. But who else I liked? Van Jefferson. I liked him a lot, man. And I think I don't remember if it was one of my colleagues, but someone described him as Ramsey to me because, like the wide receivers this team loves, he does it all. He blocks. He's just kind of that blue collar wide receiver who's willing to get on the field and deceive defenses at times. And I think that wide receiver room is already pretty impressive. People haven't really been talking about Josh Reynolds as much, but when the Cook trade happened, he immediately came to mind. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jefferson makes his way onto the field sooner rather than later.
We had him at the Senior Bowl, and when we got to Mobile, there were wide receivers with bigger names, bigger profiles. Brandon Ayuk was there. He certainly made some plays, but Van Jefferson won every single day in practice. And the game means a lot on Saturday, certainly, but it's about winning in practice those 3 days with all the coaches there, where you're lining up best against the best guys you didn't know or face during your college career from other conferences. And he's a polished route runner. He's a mature kid. Clearly, he's a coach's kid, throwing all the cliches there. They truly do apply, but he impressed everyone there. And his name came up time and time again during the practices as he just kept on stacking good reps. And we know that if there's one consistent thing about Les Snead, other than his hair and his goofy glasses, is that he loves taking Senior Bowl players, and he did that again.
He's in our next circle as our next guest, but before we let you get on with your Saturday evenings, I'm going to put you on the spot. There are 4th of July parties at
Thank
Sean
you for
McVay's
asking
house
this.
and Cliff Kingsbury's house. You can only be in one backyard. Which invite are you RSVPing to?
I'm not going to Cliff Kingsbury's house because I lived in Arizona. Why you got a fire going when it's 100 degrees, dude? That's just—
That was the answer, because I said 4th of July party. Who wants to be in Arizona?
It's going to be
Trick question.
Yeah. So I have way too much to say about this. I would say Sean, because Sean's got the view and it's a much shorter drive, first of all. Second of all, I am convinced that Cliff Kingsbury froze his camera on Thursday and he's actually floating in the pool, and he has been all day with a cold drink because he hasn't moved. And I'm shocked that he has no one like joining him on the couch. I think that's a static shot. It also looks like a CGI scene from season 3 of Westworld.
Yes.
I just don't buy that it's real. So I would rather take the short drive to the valley and enjoy the view at McVay's house.
The lack of furniture is concerning to me as well. Too much space. You're going to like kumbaya this whole thing and sit on the floor in Arizona. Like, I'm not really sure how that works out for you guys.
I don't think it's real. I think it's fake.
Bring your own yoga mat, perhaps, if you went that route. Either way, we really appreciate you both for coming on and joining us. Hope to see you both soon.
Good to see you guys.
See you guys.
All right. Well, We are both very excited to be joined by our next guest. We teased him already. The Rams grabbed him with the 57th overall pick in the second round yesterday. He led the Florida Gators the last 2 seasons in receiving yards. Please welcome in wide receiver Van Jefferson. JB, I got to say, I love the name Van Jefferson also. Like, it's a power name, power move. So I'm excited to welcome him in as soon as we get him rolling. Sean McVay, very excited to me when I asked Sean yesterday about this pick. JB, he seemed pretty excited to have him join the Rams roster in the wideout room.
Well, Van, great to see you. What have the last 24 hours been like for you?
It's been hectic. Just filled with excitement. Excited to be a part of the organization, man. Just excited to be experience this moment with my family. So it's been exciting.
Yeah, your family. I saw your video last night on Instagram you posted. I heard someone yell, "This is real." Who was that person? And please tell me, like, what happened last night?
That was my dad that said that. So my dad was super excited, man. My dad was super, emotional, everything that, me and him have been through, everything working together and the hard work and stuff that we put in. And it was just a surreal moment. And my family was there, just experiencing with everybody there. It was crazy, man, just to be there and just to see everybody smile and everybody crying, man. It was an amazing moment.
Is it true you've never been to LA?
I have never ever been to LA before, ever. So this will be my first time going to LA. So I'm excited to get out there.
Well, you're going to love it for lots of reasons, but among them, I mean, I'm sure you're aware, Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, they've all enjoyed career seasons working with Sean McVay and Jared Goff. How exhilarating is it at your position to be drafted by an offensive play calling head coach?
It's exciting. I just remember me talking to Coach McVay on the phone and man, I was super excited, just replaying in my head, just thinking about Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and all the success they have had in this offense. I just want to come in and work, man. Just keep my head down and just learn from those guys and learn everything I can and pick the brains of Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and Jared Goff. So I just want to come in, man, best player I can be and try to make an impact.
In your father's words, this is real. And your scouting report, it says you're a pristine route runner, very smart. What does the scouting report not say? What do you want Rams fans to know? You're coming into a very strong wideout room. What do you want Rams fans to know that's sort of the intangibles that we can't see yet?
Well, everyone talks about my route running. Everyone talks about, how good I am at that. But I feel like my hands are really good. I feel like I can catch anything that's in my vicinity. So I just try to, pluck the ball out the air. And I feel like that's an attribute that, that doesn't get talked about enough. But like I said, I'm just so excited to be there. I'm so excited to get to LA and get with my teammates. I'm ready to compete, man. And, Jalen Ramsey's from Tennessee. So, he's already hit me up and talked to me. So I'm ready to get out there and compete with him, man, and just, get up there and enjoy my new teammates.
I think one of the reasons you were available to the Rams at the spot 57 where they drafted you is because of that foot that's healing. I want to hear about that. And I also want to know, how fast are you? If you had run a 40 at the combine, what would you have pegged your time at?
Well, as far as the injury, I had the surgery on March 5th. So right now, my injury is 90% healed. So it's going good. Right now,
I'm just going to give it everything I got. Thank you, Lord.
Oh, yeah. But,
I'm about to run through a door.
Oh, is this kind of going out the way?
Sorry about that. We'll try and mute that extra line, but just power through, Van. This is press coverage. Get off the line of scrimmage here. Battle through it.
Huh?
This is press coverage here. Just find a way to get off the line of scrimmage and continue with this.
Okay. But yeah, my hood is filled. My foot feels fine. It's 90% healed. Started getting in the shoes, started jogging a little bit, so it's going good right now. And if I would have ran the 40 at the combine, I would have been in the 4.4 range. All my training and everything when I was down at MJP, Michael Johnson Performance, I was clocking 4.4s the whole time. So I feel like I would have ran fast, and plus I was reaching my peak, man. My body was getting back underneath me, through all the training for that long. So I was getting rejuvenated. So I feel like I would have ran faster than what I thought I would have ran. But if I could predict, it would have been in the 4.4 range.
The Rams seem to like big believers in good DNA. You're one of a handful of players the Rams have picked up whose family is a bloodline in the NFL. There's the obvious question of like, hey, how's it helped you? Your dad, been in the NFL for a minute. But beyond that, are there things that maybe we don't realize? Like, man, he really prepared me. He calmed me. You probably know a book better than anybody else.
Yeah, with my dad playing in the league and him coaching in the league, I saw a lot of things that that I could get better at, and saw a lot of things from him coaching players, that seeing how they carry themselves and see how pro-like mentality they have. So I kind of got some of those things from those guys and try to implement it into myself, so that when I get to this level, and if I was fortunate enough to get to this level, that I could already have it, and I can realize that because I've been around the pros and I've been around my dad and I've seen him doing it for a while. So, I don't want to come in wide-eyed. I already seen it before. So I just want to come in, man, and just, do what I can, get under a veteran's wing and just trying to learn everything I can.
Speaking of learning, the virtual program starts on Monday. How much of a challenge do you expect that to be, to have to learn a playbook from afar?
I think I can get it down pat. I think, of course, this is a difficult time that we're in, and it's not usual, because usually you'll go right out to the facility, but now you gotta, you just gotta adapt to things, and once I get the playbook, I'm just gonna be dive right into it, learn as much as I can, learn as fast as I can. So when I get out there and it's time to go to work, man, I won't be behind, and I can just play as fast as I can.
I believe Andrew Whitworth. Oh, sorry, JB, but I think Andrew Whitworth, did he reach out to you yesterday? I think he mentioned that to us on our post show.
Yes, ma'am, he did. He did.
What did he say? Come on, did he put an emoji or anything like that in the text message?
No, ma'am. He was just excited to have me out there. He can't wait till we get out there and wait for us to get to work. And he's one of the veteran guys on the team, and someone that I definitely look up to. So I'm just going to try to learn as much from him as I can, just to how to carry yourself, how everything is like, and just how to just keep my head down and keep working. He's been in there for a long time, so I was very appreciative for him to reach out and talk to me.
Van, 2 questions based off your social media profile. I'm looking at your Twitter page here. Van Jefferson 12. First of all, would you like to wear number 12 with the Rams?
I would like to wear any number, but if I could wear 12, that would be fine. But any number they give me, I'll be excited to wear.
And then secondly, who's this adorable little girl on your avatar?
That's my daughter, man. That's Isabella. So she's in a little princess dress right there. So she's celebrating with that. That was her birthday. So that picture was her birthday, and she was going to the movies. I think it was some princess movie that was out. So she wore the princess dress to the movies.
How old is Isabella now?
She's 3 now.
Awesome. Looking forward to meeting her.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So you've got a big year ahead of you. Anything that you're excited just overall? I mean, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are 2 of the top wideouts in the league, and you're about to join them under a top offensive group with Sean McVay. Overall thoughts on just being part of the Rams and coming to a city you've never been to before?
Yeah, well, being a part of the Rams, I'm ecstatic. I mean, last night was a dream come true, and just hearing, get that call, it just was just like overwhelming. And then talking to Coach McVay on the phone, I was like, wow, I'm really talking to Coach McVay. Like, he really wants me to come be a part of his program and his team. So it was just so exciting. I was just, so appreciative of them taking a chance on me. And, I'm so thankful, so blessed for this opportunity. And as far as coming to the sea, I've never been, I just never been there. So, you just got to take it all in, and just, when I get there, I'll explore it, and, I'm sure I'll love it.
Well, very nice to get to know you. Looking forward to our future conversations, and looking forward to seeing you in Horns. I think it's going to go great with you in Los Angeles and Sean McVay.
Yes, sir.
Van Jefferson,
thank you so much.
Nice
Enjoy
to
the
meet
rest
you.
of your weekend.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right, for final thoughts, let's bring back Maurice Jones-Drew and DeMarco Farr, again, winding down day 3 of the 2020 NFL Draft. And today the Rams made 5 selections, just to review. Bryson Hopkins, who we spoke with today, a tight end from Purdue. Jordan Fuller, some safety depth, an Ohio State Buckeye at 199. And then in the 7th round, inside linebacker Clay Johnston, who Kara Henderson-Sneed, I guess, tweeted that when he spoke with Sean McVay, he left Sean feeling like he was ready to run through a wall. So maybe that gives you a sense of what Clay is going to bring to Los Angeles. The son of an NFL strength coach, and I bet he's got some special teams chops as well. And then the kicker competition is now a 3-man race with Samuel Sloman from Miami of Ohio. And then the only offensive lineman that the Rams take with their 9 selections in this draft, Tremaine Ankrum from Clemson, who, as I understand it, Rich Hammond actually reported that he's got a tie to Los Angeles, believe it or not. I think his father played basketball at USC. Ooh. So how about that?
We'll hold that against him.
Good G. Oh.
There you go.
Well,
All right,
I guess that means it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
All right, UCLA.
I want to ask you guys a difficult question, given that the colors that we're all wearing here. But we've kind of gone through the bulk of free agency, and now the drafts. And the schedule will be released next, and then we'll await whatever summer program there is. I think it's time to ask, how do you power rank the NFC West, the division that we think is the best in football?
Well, I don't know if it's the best anymore because the NFC South kind of took, they had some great additions to Tampa and
Tampa. It's Tampa Braid. Sorry.
Right, Tampa, however you want to call it. But
well, then let's go there. Are you gonna take the reigning NFC champs, a playoff team in the Seahawks, and a 9-win Los Angeles Rams with an ascending Arizona Cardinals, and give the title to a division that still has a rebuilding Carolina with Teddy Bridgewater and the Atlanta Falcons, who we don't really know who they'll be?
Well, and I was going to say that I think that the Falcons, if they get hot, they can go to the Super Bowl. I think the Saints are the contender, or the contender in that division, and always will be. I think Tampa, they've added a lot, but with the shortened off season, that's not going to matter because they're not going to have the chemistry and learn a new playbook. I don't think everyone will be on the same page. When you look at the NFC West, though, I mean, the Cardinals have become arguably the scariest team in the NFC West right now. I think with the additions they made by getting DeAndre Hopkins, the additions they added on defense, all of a sudden now is can you protect Kyler Murray a little bit better, so he's not getting sacked almost 50 times. But they have some playmakers all over the field, and so that's going to be a little nerve-wracking. The Niners only got better, right? Joe Staley retires, you bring in Trent Williams, come on, that's not how this game is supposed to be played. But at the same time, I think the Rams have a bigger upper hand just because they have a lot of veteran guys in this locker room that have been in this offensive system before, and you don't have to reteach things over. And especially with this shortened season, the team that probably, to me, starts the fastest will be the team that'll be able to hold on at the end, and the Rams normally start fast.
I'll rank the West as one. I guess I'm going to be committing NFL blasphemy, but I'm going to wait and see on Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. I mean, how old is Tom Brady now?
It's Tom, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's Tom. We'll see.
He up there. He's 40.
He's vegan, guys. He's vegan.
I'm just saying, we'll see what happens down there in Tampa. So that's a work in progress. That's a new quarterback going to a new football team. These things take time. I mean, I know he's great, but football is a team sport. So we'll see how that works out. So I'll put the NFC West at number one. And I like what Maurice just said. I think Arizona is scary. They were scary before. Now you add Hopkins. They're damn near terrifying. San Francisco is a beast. They were just in the Super Bowl, and Seattle has been a thorn in your side forever. So, and the Rams are right there in the mix. The Rams went 9-7, and it seemed like they went 4-12. That's where expectations are. So I would say the NFC West they're number one in the Power Five, in my opinion.
You know how Kyle Shanahan and the Niners like to run that football. When they had Trent, my first thought was it's a good thing that Brandon Staley had the foresight to load up on run-thumping defensive linemen and outside linebackers, right?
No doubt.
You get John in there. You get Leonard Floyd. You draft Terrell Lewis. You're going to have to hit some blocks against those 49ers if you want to put them in unfavorable third down situations.
I got one thing to say, and I hope he's listening to Sebastian Joseph Day. I hope this doesn't discourage you that they bring in a guy like Ashawn Robinson. Compete with that guy. Really, go ahead and compete with him. Just because he was drafted sooner than you doesn't mean that he's better than you from the outset. Compete with him. Compete for your reps. Greg Gaines, I don't think you have to worry about that. That guy is he's an animal. He's going to keep getting better. But guys like Seabass, don't let new people coming into your position discourage you from working hard. Those reps are still out there for you.
I was going to say, getting Ashawn Robinson definitely helps, though. When you get in those goal line situations, I think that's where the Rams struggled defensively. They didn't have enough girth, right? You didn't have enough.
You never replaced Sue.
Exactly. So now you replace him with Ashawn Robinson, who is a very, very scary man when he's playing the game. So I think they've made, especially for the division, the way the Niners ran and what they did in the playoffs and all those things, you have to draft to win your division. So I think you are draft and add free agents to win your division. I think the Rams did that defensively, Now it's time for that offense to get clicking again, scoring those points like they were. And then now you see where it plays out once the time comes. But, this is a tough division, man. It's the new black and blue division, I think.
You know what's funny? You guys had Hekker on, and you mentioned he was named to the All-Decade team. Did you guys know you had 2 defensive tackles on the All-Decade team on your roster at one point? Think of how blessed you are with that way back when. And you wound up in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So if you can stuff up, be that good next to Aaron Donald, if you can control that line of scrimmage, sky's the limit.
Well, you know what I got thinking about this morning before the draft even started was it's been a while since we've seen the nucleus of the Rams in uniform, right? Yeah. You didn't play into 2020. You're the only winning franchise to not make the playoffs. And then everyone gets caught up in trades and free agency and now the draft and all this new infusion of talent. I think we devalue at this time of year Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Andrew Whitworth, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. Like, yes, everyone else in your division and really a lot of NFC teams have added some really nice pieces. But I'm not sure you're no longer the hunted, that you're relegated to being the hunter, because you still have some extreme talents and a great coaching staff. And I'm not sure the Rams are the favorite in the NFC West, but anyone who's going to pick them 3rd or 4th, I think is going to have something to reckon with this fall.
Yeah, I don't think you pick them 3rd or 4th. I just know that, man, like it used to be, you go to Arizona, you can kind of do that a little bit.
Sean hasn't lost to him yet.
Yeah,
he hasn't lost to him.
You haven't, but they've added some pieces, and the one piece we haven't talked about is Isaiah Simmons, right? That they selected my buddy in the scouting department calls the queen piece to a defense, where he's a guy that you're going to have to account for. But again, I'm not saying the Rams aren't at the top, but I still believe the Rams are the upper echelon of the NFC West. I'm just saying the NFC West as a whole has gotten better. I mean, from top to bottom, right? The Arizona Cardinals, you had Kenyon Drake. He comes in, he gives you a running game all of a sudden. You're winning games late in the year. They're getting better. It's not like it was when we first started, right?
Right.
And the NFC West was just Seattle was who you were worried about, and everyone else was kind of just everyone else. The NFC West has gotten better as a whole.
Well, stack your quarterbacks in the NFC West. That's where you rank your football team right now.
Russell
Wilson. You put Jared Goff in that mix with Garoppolo, with Kyler Murray, with Russell Wilson. Where do you fit in Jared Goff into that conversation? 2nd, 3rd, 4th?
Russell at 1, I think, is the only piece to place easily in that conversation.
As number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So 2 through 4, we're still trying to figure it out. So anywhere you put the Rams, if you're trying to rank them in the preseason, 3rd is fine. It's a tough division. If you want to put Garoppolo ahead, I think that's fair because he was just in the Super Bowl. But definitely not last. I would say that.
I'm excited for 2020, guys.
Big time.
All right, Sarina, let's wind this down. We've gone past the hour mark again, thanks to all of our great guests, including Van Jefferson and Bryson Hopkins, the newest tight end, DeMarco, Maurice. Great to see your faces. Happy birthday to your daughter there, DeMarco. Enjoy the rest of the party.
Happy
MJD, hope to
birthday.
see you here in Los Angeles soon.
My God, these little drive-by parties are supposed to be easy. They're not. Wow.
It's just a car driving by, DeMarco. I don't
Well,
understand.
they're stopping. They're stopping and they're talking and they want cake. And they're 5-year-olds, man. Come on.
You giving out cake to people as they drive by?
Well, goodie bags and cake, absolutely.
Can I get your address? I'm gonna come through after this.
All right, so for DeMarco, for MJD, for Johnny Hekker, Torry Holt, Mina Kimes, Andrew Siciliano, Van Jefferson, Bryson Hopkins, MJD, Sarina, I'm JD Long. Thank you for being with us. Great 3 shows. I mean, it was fun just to get a reprieve from all the realities that I know we're all dealing with. And to those of you who are struggling with hardship, we're rooting for you. We know that you're fans of our team and we're fans of yours. So thank you to everyone who contributed. We hope it was uplifting and that it won't be too long before we can convene in person and celebrate the Rams and get to work on the 2020 season.
For sure. And all the fans, thanks for watching the Rams post-draft show presented by Albertsons Bonds Pavilions, the official grocery stores of the Los Angeles Rams. To all the Rams fans out there, we miss you. We're wishing you good health and happiness. Thanks for watching, all of you. I wish you well, and I hope to see you all soon. Have a great rest of the weekend. Go Rams.